Hello everyone, welcome again to Level Change channel. My name is Claudio Fonseca. I'm a real pilot, and today we are going to talk NDB approach in La Palma. This is Canary Island in Spain. This video is being made because one subscriber of the channel asked us to talk about and perform this approach that you can see right now. So I'm going to show you some details about NDB approach, at this airport, and I'm then going to show you how to shoot this approach with conventional navigation, and before that I'm going to show you how to create this procedure if you want to fly it with LNAV and VNAV on your airplane on the 737. You will see that this approach is not entirely coded in the navigation database, so that is a way to do it. Okay, and because of this I'm going to show you this screen now. So what we have here is La Palma NDB with an unspecified runway. As you can see here on the left, it says runway unspecified, and we have two approaches for let's say any runway. Is the RNP Alpha and the NDB. This NDB you must circle to land for this approach. You cannot approach directly, so that means this approach you cannot come and continue straight and land on the runway. You have to circle to the right and then land on runway 18 all through the sea and make a right turns to land on runway 36. Note that there is an information here: you are not authorized to circle west of the runway. Okay, so you cannot go to the west of the airport. Usually this procedure is not used here in La Palma because we have other options. The main runway in use is 36, so for runway 36 we have the RNP Zulu for runway 36, but this is only for airplanes capable of LPV approaches. Okay, the ones that are not able for LPV approaches, they need to shoot the RNP Yankee runway 36, which bring you a line with the runway down to a minimum of 1,534. This is about 1,500 above airport elevation. If you don't have RNP capabilities, you can perform the NDB runway 36, and this NDB runway 36, it takes you towards runway 36 to a point where you can make a straight in landing with a minimum for category C airplane of 1,600. So it's not much different from the RNP, and on this case you come to this point at 3.2 miles from the VOR, and or better from the DME. This is just a DME, this is not a VOR, and then you continue straight to the runway. Also you have the option to circle to land, again not authorized west of the runway, so you can shoot this approach also to land on runway 18, which in my opinion is the best, even if you're going to land on runway 18, and I'm going to show you why. If you have only the NDB with an unspecified runway, on this approach, even though you are category C like the 737 and you can go down to 1,630 feet, this is still 1,500 feet above the airport, and this approach brings you to a point 4 miles from the DME, but this is 2.3 miles to the runway 18, so you are too high to complete a straight in approach. That's why you have to circle to land, and it's going to be very tight here, maybe to make the right turn I told you and then left turn towards the runway. So maybe the best option is to come down and make a left turn visually and complete to runway 18. Okay, but even though this is not a good idea if the weather is not very good. So it's better if you shoot the approach to runway 36 and then you enter like a downwind and land on runway 18. If you shoot this approach, it's quite tough for you to land on runway 18. But that's the approach we are going to perform today, but we are going to land on runway 36. So we are going to come on this approach. As you can see, we have our plane here. And we are going to shoot this approach from Nassau. At 18 miles, we are going to turn right to enter a 16 DME ARC from La Palma DME. And then when we cross the radial 040, which is the 220 inbound to the La Palma NDB, we turn left and then we follow the 212 inbound La Palma NDB down to 1630 after the 11 DME until a point of 4 DME. From this point we enter the downwind and we turn right and we land on runway 26, which is the preferred runway, and the winds are for runway 36 right now. Again, a couple of things that I can tell you. It's really hard to bring the airplane from this 4 DME straight down to runway 18. That's why the procedure is designed like this. You start at 4,500 after this is the holding. Once you cross Nassau, you can go down to 4,000. This is the minimum altitude for the ARC, okay? Unless you have clearance by ATC to go down to 3,000, but let's talk about the standard procedure. This is 4,000 during the ARC, and then when you are inbound the 16 miles on the final, on the inbound 212, you can go down to 3,000, and then at 11 miles you descend. Note here that there is no rate of descent, so you have to judge yourself. You have 7 miles to descend let's call it 1,400 feet. Even the procedure is telling you to descend as soon as you can and then level off at the MDA and try to look for the airport while you are leveled off at this MDA. So you come down from 11 miles to this 1,630 and then you level off and you start looking for the airport, because if you can see the airport, for example, from this position, so halfway through the segment, let's say you have then 3.5 miles plus 2.3 miles, that means 6.8 miles. This is a distance good enough for you to turn slightly right visually with the island and then complete the approach to runway 18. Okay, so you don't have to aim to reach 1,630 at 4 DME. As soon as you do it, the best for you, because then you have space to maneuver from the point you see the runway towards runway 18. In our case today, it's not a big deal if we reach 1,630 by 4 miles, because we are going to circle to land on runway 36. Okay, then basically once you have the airport in sight, is a visual approach to runway 36. So as we are going to have basically a visual approach, I'm going to start this approach with flaps up, as you can see very soon, and then I'm going to extend the flaps 5 to enter the arc with flaps 5 in a reduced speed, and we maintain flaps 5 until we are visual with the airport and on the downwind leg, and then we consider a visual approach. 20 seconds after the threshold, we are going to set gear down, flaps 15, and in 40 seconds we are going to start the base turn, selecting flaps 40, and then right turn towards the airport. This is the final, will be completely visual, like a circuit traffic pattern to runway 36. What I've set so far is the NDB 389. On the left side, we only have one NDB receiver, only one ADF on this airplane, and on the right and left side, on the left side I selected the NDB, and on the right side I selected the DME La Palma, this is 12.4, this is Bravo Victor, this is only the DME. Okay, so they are both at the same position, so I have one NDB and I have one DME, so this is like NDB DME approach. Okay, so I need the distance from the DME, which of course we cannot receive on the NDB frequency 389. We need to set also the DME frequency 112.4. Note, we are going to see the arrow for pointing the NDB, the blue arrow pointing the NDB, and we are going to see the green distance from the DME. We are not going to see a green arrow towards the VOR, because this is not a VOR, this is only DME. That's why you have the D here and it is between brackets. Okay, in case of missed approach, it says that we turn left with maximum 185 knots to intercept and follow 127 outbound from NDB to position Araco. Position Araco is 19 miles from the Bravo Victor DME. Climb to 4,500 and join the holding here. Okay, so this is the approach we are going to shoot, with minimums again 1,630. Okay, if you want to stop the video right now to better understand this approach, if you have any doubt, do it so and then continue, because right now we are going to go to our simulator. So you already have the sim there. I'm going to remove my webcam and I'm going to show you a couple of things on the sim right now. Let's go inside the plane. We are stationary in the air here. It's like we are parked in the air. As you can see, we are 21.2 miles to a fix on final runway 18. What I'm going to show you now is that once you come to the departure and arrival index page and you select the arrivals, there are a couple of procedures. This is the NDB to runway 36, the second one here. Okay, we also have the LNAV to runway 18, the LNAV to runway 36, and the LNAV Yankee 36 and Zulu 36. So all the approaches that I showed you for the unspecified runway is RNAV Alpha and RNAV Alpha, runway 18 and 36. You just need to select which one you are going to land. And you also have the first and the third, which are the NDMM and NDMM to runway 18 and 36. This is the NDB unspecified for the runway 18 and the unspecified for runway 36. Okay, I will show you, because I can select the NDB, this one to runway 36, and when we go to the legs page before accepting, you will see that from this point, Charlie Quebec 212, we are inbound 212 to Fox Quebec 212, and then continue 212 to Mike Quebec 212. This is only the distance, so the Charlie, the Foxtrot Mike is the distance on this inbound 212 to the runway. In this case, it shows runway 36 because it's the runway that we are going to land. But it's the same thing if you select for runway 18. The initial part of the approach is the same. Charlie Quebec 212, Fox Quebec 212, and Mike Quebec 212. They are all the same on the 212 inbound, in this case to runway 18. As we are going to land on runway 36, again, we take the unspecified to runway 36. Okay, I'm going to execute this, and as you can see, we only have, let's say, from the intermediate fix towards the final, towards the 4 mile point where we have to fly visually, and our missed approach. The missed approach, we go on the track 157 to intercept 127 towards Araco and hold at Araco. It says that there is no descent path after Mike Quebec 212. So after Mike Quebec 212, if we continue straight down to the runway, from this altitude will be a 7-degree glide path. So that's, we are not doing. That's why we are not doing this approach straight ahead. We are going to make a circle to land. One thing that we have to change in this database is that our minimums is 1630 at this point. It has a different number here because they use the minimums for airplanes category D and not C, and we are category C. So this is the first change that we do. The next change that we can do if you want to fly LNAV and VNAV is to set the approach. So in this case we have to enter Nassau, which is the initial approach fix. This is Nassau ahead of us. As you can see here, I'm going to get it closer. Okay, so this is Nassau. Okay, and then I'm going to show you just one thing here again. If we go to this approach, this is inbound 236, which means radial 056 from the NDB or the DME. And then we are going to cross the radial 055, 54, 53, 52, and so on until we cross here the 020. As you can see, this is inbound 220, so the opposite for the radial is 040 when we turn left to 212. So it's important for you to understand the concept of bearings and radials, and we are going to need the radials to create the points for this arc. Okay, so we go back to the sim now, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the next point, which is the Bravo Victor. This is the name of the DME, and I want it on the radial 056 at 18 miles. Okay, and I will insert it after Nassau, and I select which Bravo Victor I want, which is the closest one is the La Palma. So I select La Palma, and as you can see, it create a point here named Bravo Victor 05. What we just created here is this approach, this Bravo Victor 18 miles. Okay, so we just created this one, and we are going to create another one now at 16 miles, which is the arc, and we are going to create another 2 points here, one at the radial 050 and another one at the radial 040, which is this bearing, so the airplane can track on LNAV and intercept the final. Okay, so for you to understand, I wanted to show you this, and let's go back here. So what I need now is, again, Bravo Victor radial 056, but now 16 miles instead of 18. As you can see, I have to select La Palma DME again, and it create a point 2 miles ahead. Now I'm going to select the same Bravo Victor, but instead of radial 056, I'm going to select 050 just as a reference. I could create, as I create 056 before, I can create 046 or 045. It's not a big deal. It's something less than 56 that will start our turn to the right, and also 16 miles because we want to maintain 16 miles from this DME. As you can see, I select Palma again, and it creates already another point. The next one is Bravo Victor 040, also at 16 DME, that I put after Bravo Victor 07. I select La Palma, and as you can see, there is another fix there. If I want to be very precise, I can create another one in between. Let's call it, for example, Bravo Victor 045/16. I just need to put it at the right place, so it's after Bravo Victor 07. Okay, it creates a point in the middle, and then I connect with Bravo Victor 08, and then I connect with the final Charlie Quebec 212, and as you can see, the airplane will now perform the approach, we perform the approach entirely in LNAV if we want. That's what we are going to set right now. Of course, I can do it in VNAV as well, and it's going to comply with these altitudes that we have here. Okay, so this is the way if you want to do this procedure in LNAV. Of course, you need to do it while you are in cruise. It's not a big deal. Once you get familiar with bearings and radial and distance, you can perform this approach. I'm going to bring this range to 5, and I'm going to change this to plan, and then I'm going to scroll one by one here so you can see Nassau, then Bravo Victor 05, which is the entry of the ARC. It's going to make a bypass on Bravo Victor 06, which is the next one, to join Bravo Victor 07, then 09, 08, and then left turn to intercept the final. This is the point at 11 DME, and this is the point at 4 DME. And this is our approach. Okay, so let's go back one more time. Now with 10 miles for you to understand better what we are doing here. So Nassau, you also can create the holding over Nassau if you want now. So this is our approach, and we can fly it in LNAV. And from my Quebec 212, which is pretty much 2 miles downwind, we are going to disengage the autopilot and fly manually towards runway 36. Okay, so that's it. That's the way to perform this approach. I'm going to keep on this side terrain. Okay, so you have an idea of what we are doing, but this time, instead of using LNAV and VNAV, I'm going to change it to VOR mode, and I'm going to use only the needle of the NDB and the distance from the DME to shoot this approach. Okay, so I'm going to do, we are at 4,500 after Nassau, which is at 22.5 miles. We are going to descend to 4,000, and we keep it 4,000 until we are 16 miles on the final, descending to 3,000. Okay, so I'm going to release the plane now, and we are flying. As you can see, we are now flying. Okay, so I'm going to select flaps 1, reduce to flaps 1 speed. We are at 23.5 miles, so we are 1 mile to position Nassau. Now I'm going to extend flaps 5, and I'm going to reduce to flap 5 speed. So 22 miles, now we can go down to 4,000. So 4,000 set, vertical speed, and we can descend 500 feet per minute. Oh, we are still tracking in LNAV, my bad. So I'm going to change it to heading cell now. So from this point, we are going to fly heading cell now towards the NDB. We are waiting for 18 miles to start the right turn. And we are going to keep the NDB on our left here around 16 miles. So you have to combine the ADF with the DME. $19.2, okay, we are leveling off at 4,000, altitude hold, that's fine. And we are going to keep the flaps 5 during the entire approach, because we are going to extend more on the final, or better on the visual traffic pattern there. I'm going to give you the sim sound right now. So we are at 18 miles, and I'm going to turn right 90 degrees to start this approach. We are supposed to keep 16 miles from the DME, and we are going to dose this turn as we are coming in. 17 miles, and we turn about less than 45. It's okay, because now the DME is going to start to decrease the rate towards the DME. So 16.5, okay, we can maintain right now on the heading 320. 16.4, yeah, we need to approach the NDB, so I'm going already to maintain 315. And remember, this is the course for the final 212 for us to have an indication. On the radial 040, we start the turn to the left. So 16.2, I'm going to turn a little more to the left, 310. We are now at 16 DME, 16.1, and we are almost reaching the 040, which is the time that we turn to the final. So 16 DME, we are good for now. $15.9, we are a little inside, so we are going to maintain this heading until the NDB comes down, so the DME is going to increase again. Right now we are on almost 225. 220 is the one that we turn left. Okay, this is 220 now, so we are going to turn left 30 degrees to intercept, so 212 plus 30 is 242, and now we need to match the needle of the NDB on the inbound course 212. I'm going to keep this heading, which is 30 degrees, waiting for the needle to continue to the left, to 25 now. We are 14 miles. We are intercepting the final. We can go down to 3000 vertical speed, minus 500 feet per minute. Okay, we are almost there. To 20 now. To 15. $3,000 is the limit at 11 miles, and maybe 212. We have some wind from the left, so we can use our ND to maintain the track 212, maybe heading 090 for now. A little bit more, yeah, 090 looks okay. 11.5. So we can increase the rate of descent to 700 feet per minute for now. 11 miles. Now we can go to 1,630, so 1,700, and we maintain 800 feet per minute. So the NDB is slightly to the right, so between 209 and 210. And now we have to start looking outside to try to search for the runway. We are slightly high, I think 9.4. We have 5 miles to descend, 1,500 feet, so I'm going to set vertical speed 1,000. We have to monitor this approach like this all the time, and we are pretty much on the 212, maybe still slightly to the right, so 211 now with the wind coming from the left. 8 miles. We are 1,000 to go to the minimus. So now we have the course 212. We go back to 210, and we should have the airport. Yeah, this looks like the airport. This is the runway, and we can see the apron there. So we continue going down to 1,000 We need a little bit more to the left. Yeah, so this is the airport. This is the runway. As you can see, we are really close to runway 18 and we are going to land on runway 36. Okay, so this is the NDB approach. Remember, you always have your track here to help you and match the needle with the course you need. Of course, you need to select this course here to help you. Even though you don't have the VOR, it will help you to guide you through the NDB. Okay, so now we are going to fly 080 and we have to see the runway on our side. We need more. We are on the 070 for now to maintain heading, or better, track 080. It's going to be nice to sit on this side and look for the runway. Yeah, this is the threshold. When we are in the threshold, we can start timing. Okay, I'm going to start. I don't remember here. Chronometer, that's the one. Okay, we are slightly behind this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to disconnect autopilot. I'm going to take it off the flight directors and the auto throttle. Okay, and I'm going to fly it manually towards the runway now. So gear down, speed brake armed, flaps 15. We are reaching the 40 seconds. I'm a little high. I'm going to start this turn to the final now. I'm going to descend around 600 feet per minute. Extending flaps 25, just to have some margin. Okay, let's turn base. But we need to keep going down. And flaps 40. Let's try to search the runway now. Let's keep...
Terrain.
Oh, there is terrain ahead of us. Yeah, we can see that.
Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain.
That is the runway. Was a bit long, this final. And I'm going to maintain
Caution, terrain.
this altitude until we reach
Caution, terrain.
the profile to complete the approach. We don't need to... Yeah, so this is the runway ahead of us. And we are aiming now for a 3-degree glide path. So looks like we have to start going down now. Okay, let's try to maintain the runway aiming point at the same place on the windscreen. Going towards the runway. A lot of terrain here to the left. That's why you cannot circle west of the airport.
Terrain. Pull up.
We are visual.
Pull
We can even see now the puppies.
Pull up.
It was 2 and 2, now we have 3 whites. 2 and 2 again.
Pull up. Terrain, terrain. Pull up.
Yeah, we have some wind shift here. You
5,
can see the speed is fluctuating.
400. 300.
Here we go.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
And 10, and we touch down. Full reverse in this case. We maintain the alignment. "60 knots, back to idle reverse." And we are stopping, so manual brakes, and we stop here on the runway. I'm taking you outside. This was the approach NDB unspecified for runway, in this case 36, in La Palma, Canary Island in Spain. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you are able now to shoot this approach with LNAV if you know how to build up the entire procedure, or with a heading cell if you are going to follow the NDB needle down to your minimus on a position that can take you on downwind, in this case runway 36. Thank you so much guys again. Safe flights. See you. Bye bye.